Alright guys, Chestnut back here with another guide video today, and this time we are doing Outbound Signal, the daily heroic mission. Now, this one we're going to be heading to the Dreadnought here, and I'm going to recommend a certain loadout. I'm going to say medium to long range for your primary, a little more specifically a pulse rifle, but I'll get into that in a minute. And then I'm going to say short to mid range for your secondary, more specifically a primary, once again I'll get into that in a minute. And then a sword or a rocket launcher for your heavy. It doesn't matter if the sword's exotic or legendary. I prefer, or exotic is definitely more recommended because obviously it's going to be better. But for this purpose, it really doesn't matter too much if you go sword, if you go legendary or exotic. So, but the reason I'm going to say pulse rifle for your primary is because of the fact that by the end of this, you're going to end up in a cramped room with a lot of ads. It's got some decent range to it, and there are going to be spots when you're going to want the range of a pulse rifle, but you're also going to be able to want the quick drops that a pulse rifle can give you in killing ads. The same goes for the sidearm, except it does not have that good of range. It's only short to medium range, but it's still very good for quick drops, especially if you know how to use it. Shotguns kind of are in that category, as long as you get close enough, but I really don't recommend getting that close to these enemies. And then, of course, your sniper rifles aren't really quick drops, but they do have a good range. And then, you know, you've got your fusion rifles, not quick drops, and not very good range on it. So, try to avoid fusion rifles if possible. But anyways, so as you can see here, we just went straight through the whole breach and went into this area here. If you'll notice, I skipped that first spot there and I went to the other side. This is probably going to be the best method, or at least the best method that I found, is to go to the other side and clear the Cabal area first. For some reason, it's harder to do the Cabal side. I think it's not like it's just harder than it is to kill the Hive. So if you get through the hard stuff first, when you get to the easy stuff, you know, you won't have a problem. You don't want to have to go through all of the easy work and then end up getting to this spot and then having that chance of dying. So you do have a better chance of dying in this area than the other one. So yeah, I would say definitely clear this side out first and then make your way to this side. Because you see here, I'm already getting to the red health. I'm already, like, I should have died right here. I'm surprised I didn't. But yeah, this side's quite a bit more difficult than the other side. I'm not saying it's really hard by any means. I'm just saying it's better to clear this side first and get the hard work done over with, so you don't have to keep redoing the easy stuff over and over again. So, and your biggest problem is probably going to be that major freaking wizard right here. He got really annoying for me, so I just eventually pulled out my bolt caster and decided to say screw you. So yeah, once you clear this side, you're gonna have to go to the other side and clear that too. But at least the other side is just a wizard and some acolytes and a few thrall. It's not at all difficult. This side, you've got to deal with all of the freaking Cabal, like the Phalanxes, and then your Colossus right here, the major Colossus, and the major Wizard. And so this side is just a heck of a lot more difficult, and I definitely recommend clearing it out first. So, yeah. And like I said, once you get to this side, it's really easy. Just drop a few of the Acolytes, or the few Acolytes that show up, along with the Thrall, and then there's like one Wizard. I'm pretty sure it's just a normal Wizard. Could be wrong on that, but we'll see here in a second. So, and for subclasses, because I still want to finish that, I'm going to say Sunbreaker or Sunsinger are probably going to be your best bets. But Sunbreaker mainly for the fact if you use Forge Master and Cauterize. Basically, if you use the build that I showed you guys in my Sunbreaker guide video, which I'll have a link to on here on the screen really quick, I'm going to recommend that one because, you know, it's got great ad clearing capabilities and also it's a tank. So throwing him in a cramped room with ads is going to be no problem at all. And you'll see why that's going to be very essential later. Sunsinger, just for the fact that, you know, you can self-res, and this mission can get pretty risky if you try to rush things, which I did here way too many times, and it ended up costing me. But anyways, I guess Stormcaller could work as long as you know how to use it right and you don't get too risky with it. I think you should be fine. If you want to play Hunter, the best recommendation I can give you is probably Arcblade. And I would say if you have it, use a Tarantula chest piece along with the perk that allows you to gain more super every time you get a kill. That's probably going to be your best bet. And I'll do an Arcblade build later on, but the next one I'm doing is Night Stalker, so it's going to be a while before I cover the Arcblade. I guess I could do that after Night Stalker, but we'll see. So anyways, once you clear out that area and the door finally opens, you're going to head up here to the bridge. You're going to see this hallway with the Cabal and then some Hive at the end. Just go and clear it out really quick. It's not too bad. Clearing out the boss room is really not that hard. It's when the boss actually spawns that it gets difficult. So yeah, once again, just clear out the enemies out here. They're no big deal at all. So, and once again, just a few thrall, take them out, and then just head in here. There will be some Cabal, mostly Legionaries. There's going to be a couple of, well, there's going to be one Colossus, and then there's going to be a couple of these guys right here, the Centurions. So just take them out at a normal pace. Don't try to rush it once again, because I did that way too many times this mission, and I almost ended up dying, and there was one time I actually did end up dying, but luckily I had my self-res readily available. So yeah, just lots of Cabal in this room, and then once it spawns, or once the boss spawns, well, I mean, after you clear the Cabal, you're going to be asked to scan a panel, and make sure that it actually registers, because I did that once by accident. I ran away too quickly after launch, or putting my ghost in to scan it, and it didn't quite register, so I had to go back in. But anyways, once the boss spawns, he's gonna spawn as an Ultra, I believe, Taken Centurion, and he's gonna be joined by a lot of Taken Vandals, Captains, Scions, Phalanxes, basically every variety of Taken you can think of, for the most part. There's not quite all of them. I don't believe there's any Captains or anything like that, but there are a lot of them, and there's like 3 to 4 Captains, about 5 or 6 Vandals, I would say, whole army of Scions. Not sure how many Phalanxes. I'd say about 4 or 5 on that one as well. But once again, you're just going to want to take them out as quickly as possible. And when you get to the boss, I'm going to say focus on the ads first. Now, if you're the kind of the person that doesn't like to take the time to clear out a full room of enemies, that's fine. Just make sure that you're at least clearing out a few of them at a time and then shooting a little bit at the Ultra, which I did do here. It did get a little risky, but in the end, it did make it go a lot faster, because if I were to sit here and clear out all the ads, it would take quite a long time, because once again, there are lots. Yeah, you can see right here, this is the part where I screwed up and it didn't quite register. But yeah, once the ads spawn, definitely focus on them as much as you can. Once again, if you're the impatient person, just give it a few kills and then shoot the Ultra a little bit, but don't put all of your fire on him, because you're almost guaranteed to die at that point and have to restart, and then it's just no fun at all. Anyways, you scan that panel here, and then you can see the Taken will spawn right there. And right there, we've got our Ultra with a bunch of his minions spawning. I'm going to recommend that you back up a little bit when they spawn and go down to this lower area right here. I know that it's usually better in Warfare to have higher ground, but in this case, the lower ground is definitely recommended, because there's more cover down there, by far more cover. And I was able to pick off Vandals very easily down here. Granted, it does get to a point where the Ultra will jump down and join you down there. Just make sure that you're careful in that area. You might have to back up and go to the higher ground behind you. So, yeah, there's some Captains here. I'm pretty sure they're all sword wielders. So just watch out for that. They do get really, really annoying with their blinding attack. And so, yeah, just watch out for that. And they do teleport, of course, a lot. And it's very, very frustrating. Captains are one of my least favorite enemies to fight, because they're just so annoying. It's not even funny. And there's a lot of them in this mission too. For some reason, this mission is just loaded with Captains, and it's brutal. So anyways, some Phalanxes up here, there's some Scions to the right, a pretty big group of them. So, and once again, you can see here, I'm taking out a few of them, and then I'm shooting the boss, and right here is where I die. So try not to make the same idiot mistake that I did and run through a huge group of enemies. It will most likely not end well. So as you can see here, I had a self-res, but now I can get a bunch of grenades and stuff, so it definitely benefited me in the end. But once again, I don't recommend dying if you don't have to. So, as you can see, the Ultra actually doesn't take too much to kill him. It's just the fact of actually getting the time to hit him is the only problem. And of course, then if you're using a bolt caster like I am, you also have to deal with the issue of Shadow Thrall and all that crap kind of behind you and shooting or screwing up your shots. But anyways, once he dies, all of the other enemies will disappear if you didn't clear them out already, and then you will get your legendary marks for the mission. I hope this guide was useful to you guys. Let's go for 10 likes on this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video whenever that is. Peace out.